In this video, we are going to talk about logical operators in Java. So, what logical operators allow you to do is to take Boolean expressions that are simple, the ones using the relational operators that we talked about previously in the previous video. It allows you to take those Boolean expressions and make more complicated Boolean expressions. Okay, so there's three logical operators that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the not logical operator, which is the exclamation point. We are going to talk about the and logical operator, and that is two ampersands, which is what Shift 7 on your keyboard, on most keyboards. All right, and then the or logical operator here, which is this double pipe symbol. And now that double pipe symbol you can obtain by pressing Shift and then above the Enter key on a standard keyboard, there are two buttons directly above the Enter key, one on the left and one on the right. It's the one on the right. So you would press Shift, and then of the two keys that are above the Enter, you would press the right one to get one of those pipes. Okay. On some keyboards, it will show up as a little broken bar, but when you type it into your IDE, it should look like a solid unbroken line here. Okay. All right. So just as an example of what I'm talking about with more complicated Boolean expressions, here we have a simple Boolean expression: 7 is greater than 2. All right, and here is another simple Boolean expression: 3 is equal to 5. Okay, and they are joined with the and operator to create a more complicated condition. Okay. All right, so next up, I need to show you how these work because you might not have seen these before. Okay, so the not operator is what's called a unary operator. It operates only on one Boolean expression or one operand, and all the not logical operator does is change the truth value. So if the original expression is true, when you put the not operator in front of it, it's going to change it to false, and then vice versa. When it's false, if the original expression is false, when you add the not operator to the front of it, you're going to get a true statement. And or are both binary operators. That means they operate on two things at a time, just like addition or subtraction or multiplication. And so the result of the and operator is almost always false. It almost always comes out to be false. The only time it comes out to be true is if both operands are true. Okay, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like in this code here. The or logical operator almost always comes out to be true. Okay, the only time it's false is if both operands are false. All right, so let's take a look at that. Okay, so here I've got some examples, right, using the logical operators. Okay, and here I've done these on just true and false themselves, so you can see how these come out. So with the not operator, there's only two possible outcomes. Okay, so if I have a statement, it's either going to be true or it's going to be false, right? And so putting the not operator on there is just going to flip, excuse me, it's just going to flip the truth value. So you can see that up at the top. If I put the not operator in front of something that's true, you're going to get a false. If I put the not operator in front of something that's false, I get a true. Okay. Now, with the and operator, since the statements on either side, the operands, are either true or false, there's really only 4 cases for the ands. Okay, and those 4 cases are listed out here, and you can see that almost all of them come out to be false of those 4 cases, right? The only time you're going to get a true with the and statement is if both operands, the operands on either side of the and operator, are true, right? You'll get this true. Any other case, right, you will get a false like this. So one of the most common uses of the and operator, right, is to check to see if both statements on either side of the and operator are true. So where you're going to use this stuff is when you are making decisions in your program. You want one block of code to execute. If a bunch of conditions are all true, then you could use the and operator to efficiently implement that. Okay. With the or operator, again, it's a binary operator, and since the only values we can have for a Boolean expression are true and false, it basically boils down to these 4 cases again. And you can see the results here, right? The or operator almost always comes out to be true. The only exception, right, is if both operands are false, right? If the statements on both sides of the or are false, then you'll get a false. Otherwise, you'll get a true. And one of the most common uses of the or operator is to check to see if at least one of the operands is true, okay, in your program. All right, so here are, you need to, know this and refer to it in order to evaluate some of these compound Boolean expressions. All right, so here's some compound Boolean expressions, and you can see the results here. So let's go through some of these. So here on this one, right, on the very first one on line 28, I have 7 is greater than 2. That is true. And 3 is equal to 5, right? That is false. So what I have is a statement that's true, and then on the other side of the or operator, it's false. That is going to evaluate to true, right? So that is why we get this true right here. Okay. Next up, I change the or operator to an and. So 7 greater than 2, that's true. 3 is equal to 5, that's false. All right, so I have a true and false. That was the second case up here for the and operator. And remember, all of these bottom ones are false, right? The only one that's true for the and is that one. So that's why we get this false right here. All right, next up I have 8 is greater than or equal to 7, which is true. And then on the other side I have 4 is not equal to 2. So this is true and this is true. That means that they're joined by an and, so that means that true and true will come out to be a true statement. All right, when you are dealing with both the and the or operator in this type of expression, then you have an order of operations situation going, okay? And so what you have to do is to remember that the and operator is going to get done before the or operator. So you have to do that one first. So that's just kind of like in order of operations for arithmetic operators, right? No, you know that multiplication, division, and the remainder operator get done before the addition and subtraction operator, unless there's parentheses in there, right? So just same exact way, the and operator gets done before the or operator does, okay? All right, so looking at this statement, right, I would have to start here, over here. So 3 is equal to 5, that's false. 6 is equal to 6, that's true. So I have false and true. That would evaluate to a false, okay? So then I have 7 is less than 2, that's also false. So I have false or false. That's going to be false. That's the only case in which the or operator is false. All right, next I have, excuse me, another expression involving both the and the or operator. So I would have to do the and operator first. So 7's less than 2 is false. 3 is equal to 5 is also false. So this highlighted expression here would amount to false and false, which is false. Okay, and so this highlighted is false, and then over here 6 is equal to 6. Double equals 6 is true, so I have false or true. right? That is going to evaluate to true. So that's why we get this true for that last statement there. Okay? So that's the logical operators. Again, you can use these to make more complicated conditions or Boolean expressions in your program.